Step your game up!
Hey YouTube, it's StepYoGameUpStudios. This is Marco, and I'm here with Alan, and we're going to be reviewing the demo for Ruse. Ruse is kind of a game that came out of nowhere. I mean, it was announced a while back, and all there really was a few trailers, but we never really seen much about the game. But now they just came out with the demo, and it kind of had like a release where no one even knew it came out, so it was kind of under the radar type of game. But Alan and we picked up the demo and we started playing, and here's some of the things we started, to think about. So, Alan, what did you think about the game?
Well, I thought it was okay, like, 'cause I like these kind of games, but there were a lot of problems, like, in the demo. I'm not sure if it's in the actual game, but like, there was voice acting in the demo that was terrible. Um, I don't know if the guy was just dumb or something. I don't know. They had their own story. That was pretty dumb because in the demo you could set off as many nukes as you want, and pretty much like what you said, Marco, if that was possible, then the war would be over.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a fan of RTS games. I mean, I picked it up just to try something new. The only RTS I really ever played was Halo Wars, and that's just because I'm a huge Halo fan. I picked up Halo Wars, I was decent at the game because it was really easy to pick up and play type of real-time strategy. So I tried going into this game thinking, I had some Halo Wars experience. It shouldn't be that hard, but I was surely mistaken because this game, I mean. It's not really that pick up and play as Halo Wars was for me. I mean, this game, you know, you should probably have a few RTSs under your belt because this game could get complicated. I mean, there's a lot. It was really confusing at first. Once the first time you're gonna pick it up, it's gonna be really confusing because there's no HUD. There's lack of a HUD. There's no cursor. There's no nothing to tell you where you're at. So I mean, it's kind of a good thing for like real hardcore real-time strategists. I mean, the lack of a HUD, gets you more immersed in the game. I mean, it's really beautiful. I mean, the graphics are great. Like you could zoom in all the way in the battlefield and see like little individual battles, explosions going off, your controller's vibrating. There's a whole bunch of dust particle effects. It's really in depth. But I mean, for lack of a HUD for like a new guy trying to get into a real-time strategy game, this probably isn't your game because I mean, it's really confusing at first. You don't even know where your guys are. I mean, the map, like it's kind of confusing. All you really see is like red dots everywhere and your blue dots and all that. But I mean, it's uh, it's kind of confusing. But I actually had a lot of fun just spamming nukes across the entire maps. I don't know about you guys, but I think that's kind of cool. Even though it really doesn't make too much sense that I could send 50 nukes and only kill a few tanks. I mean, the nuke takes out like one settlement or a few tanks. So it's not. If you're gonna send a nuke in World War II, I'm pretty sure the war would have been over. But I mean, how about you, Alan?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Like, I like blowing shit up and stuff, but yeah, it was kind of like I think it was too much. But about the graphics, like if you would have went like all the way up, you could actually see that you're playing off of a table, and if you look around, you're actually in a room, and you could actually see people sitting in chairs, and that was pretty like graphical, or I don't even know if that's a word, but yeah.
uh, the battles get really frenetic. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, so it could get confusing. Like, trying edging your troops. I mean, another problem I had was like selecting individual troops or groups as a whole got kind of really frustrating. Like, I would have a group of tanks grouped together, and I would try to like select them all at once, but I ended up selecting
Yeah.
individual units. I mean, like, I had a lot of problems with that. Or if I like tried selecting some certain enemy type, the controls are kind of like they're kind of finicky, kind of, if that's a word either. I mean, like I would select the wrong enemy. Like maybe I want to kill a tank, but I accidentally picked the one Nazi German next to the tank, and my tanks would kill the one soldier when I'm trying to shoot the
Yeah.
Panzer. So I mean, like little controls like that kind of throw you off. So it gets kind of confusing. But I mean, yeah.
Um, I think the bases were pretty cool. Like if you've ever played Halo Wars, you'd pretty much just be in like one spot and you'd have to put like sections of bases, but like you get an HQ and then you could put like a barracks wherever you want and all that. I thought that was pretty cool because in Halo Wars you couldn't really do that. You know, put where you want some stuff. It was mainly just on one big base, and I didn't really like that a lot, but it was still fun.
Another thing in Ruse, when you're making guys, I mean, like you kind of queue up how many guys you want. Say I want like 5 Shermans built. You never really know when they're built. Like in Halo Wars, you'll get like a prompt saying, "Hey, your Scorpion's been built." But in this game, you kind of have to figure out when your tanks
Yeah,
are being built, and sometimes it's hard. Like when you're selecting a unit or you're selecting the waypoint for your newly built reinforcements to come in, you're supposed to look through a little ghost, and the ghost is really hard to see sometimes. So amongst all the explosions and all the little pretty graphics, it's really hard to tell what's going on. So you're gonna find yourself zooming in on the battlefield a lot just to see like where your guys are, and
yeah. Another thing, like whenever you get Marines, like the first time I played this demo and I got some Marines, and I sent them to like this forest because that was the objective, and they like disappeared. I was like, where are they? And they were actually got in trucks and they went, and I thought that was pretty neat.
yeah. Another thing is like the cutscenes. I mean, like you said, the voice acting is horrible, and the story is just like really. I mean, the story really isn't there. I mean, you're not gonna come play this game for a story or
Yeah,
anything. I mean, it's really passable. It's really kind of really bland and just stupid. It shouldn't even been there. Like it should probably just be like a straight World War II RTS with like no story tied in because what they did with it is like really, really bad. But like you're playing the game and a random cutscene will pop in and you just want to skip the cutscene and just go back to the game because you really don't care about what's going on. But I mean, for the most part, it's a fun game. I mean, if you don't play a lot of RTSs, this isn't gonna be the game for you to just jump in and pick up an RTS. It's more for like a guy that's kind of hardcore about RTSs has played a lot of RTSs. But on the other hand, too, with that fact, the hardcore guy probably. I mean, the hardcore RTS player is probably going to play more games like StarCraft 2 that are more robust and more in depth. From what we saw in this demo, I mean, it was a simple game yet trying to be hardcore in the fact that there's no HUD and I mean it's Halo Wars for me was like the easiest RTS to play even though I'm still bad at Halo Wars. I mean I can never win an online game in that game, but I mean it's I don't know it's like how to say it, but if you're gonna get an RTS, if you're just new to the whole genre, just go with something simple like Halo Wars. If you're kind of like you played a few RTSs like Civilization Revolution, Halo Wars and stuff, then yeah, I would recommend picking up Rouge. Try it for a bit. Hardcore gamers, they'll probably like it, but it won't be nearly as good as say a Command and Conquer 3 or a StarCraft 2 or something. It's a kind of an intermediate game,
yeah.
but. So for me, I'm gonna give this game a pass just for me because I'm not really that much into RTSs. But Alan, what do you think about
Well,
it?
like I said in the beginning, I like these kind of games, and I like building armies and sending them everywhere and destroy shit. And so yeah, I think for like people that have played Halo Wars and maybe just Halo Wars, maybe rent it, see how you like it, or even play the demo. But for like hardcore gamers, I don't know, rent it or buy it. But if you're like really really hardcore with it, then I'd say buy it.
So just give it a try, and yep. I mean, it's good for the most part, but it's not for everyone. Thank you all for listening to this review, our first one, by the way. So look out for more to come, and hopefully we'll try to do better on our reviews because we're free forming it right now.
Yeah.
But have a good one,
And
guys.
leave a comment saying like if you can give us any tips or and also leave your comments on the game. So you know
Yeah.
anything we missed. So yeah.
All right, thanks, guys.
Peace.
Step your game up!